Today I'm going to show you how I make a mask. It would be this type of mask, three-dimensional. The pattern is a symmetrical pattern, top and bottom, left and right. We need to make 2 outer layers and 2 cuts of the face layer. The face layer needs to be a little smaller than the exterior front face, so I have the tabs to pull in when you cut the pattern for the inner face layer. Before we get started, I always press my fabrics. Set the exterior fabric aside for a second. The 2 interface pieces, you need to fold them over lengthwise. Line it up best you can. Now, these edges here that we have here are going to be where the nose goes, and this goes under the chin. So we need to put a stitch line on here to give it some structure. To keep my lines really straight, I'm going to be using a edge foot. It's got a little blade under here where you could send your fabric against. Now this edge foot here is actually a stitch and a ditch foot, but an edge foot is the same thing. But right now, the needle is right next to the blade. I'm going to move it over. I moved it over about 1.5 millimeters. So it'll give me about 1/16 of an inch. Edge stitch. I'm going to press these flat, set the stitches. Now one of these is going to be the nose. So I'm going to fold it in half so I know where the center is. And I'm just going to press this corner here just so I have a mark where I know the center is. I ordered a bag of twisty ties. They're plastic coated. I need to find the middle of it, so put the two edges together. Put a little, fold it in half and put a crease there. Open it back up. Now you know where the middle of this is and the middle of that. I'm going to put that in here, snug it right up against the top. Now what I'm going to do is stitch this in. I need to switch back to my other foot. I'm pushing the bar all the way to the top. Then I'm feeling where the edge is over here. And I'm going to stitch down, across, and then back up. This is not a removable one, but it's a plastic coated twisty tie, so it can handle being washed. I'd recommend hand washing these, not machine washing them. Now I'm going to rotate it. I need to go one more stitch. And then I'm going to make sure the twisty tie is all the way that way. Cut my thread tails off. I'm going to set those stitches. And then we have an embedded nose. Now to make the body of the mask, take your two pieces, separate them, it's symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which way you put these in. Put that here in the center, making sure you have equal distances on the tabs here. Then I clip this so it doesn't move around on me. And then I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam about an inch or so in from the outer edges, which would be the ear tabs, just on the top and then on the bottom, and then we're going to turn it out. I'm going to trim off my thread tails just a little bit. Caught a little bit of the fabric here. It's in the seam allowance, so it's not that big of a deal. Could save it. Now I'm going to just press the edges here to set those stitches. Got another thread tail I need to get rid of. Now we need to turn this out. No real easy way to turn these out other than to turn it out. Pull out all the tabs. It's symmetrical, so we don't know which either side could be the front or the back. I'm going to have this the front here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this open and try and pull open up the seam here as best I can with the chopstick. The better you get this edge here, the cleaner the mask will look on the outside when you're finished. So I do this a little aggressively, but not enough to poke through the fabric. Do it to the top and the bottom. Just making sure all of it is pulled out as best as possible. Now this is where a finishing technique comes in. This is the inside, this is the outside. When you make a mask, if you just hit it with the iron right here, there's going to be an equal amount of exterior fabric and interior fabric here. And when you wear it, you'll see a peeking of the black fabric. Now, a technique I do this with collars, and it's called an undercollar. It's where you take your fabric here, get it between your finger and your forethumb, your thumb and your forefinger, and roll the top fabric toward the back just a little bit. Do this all the way down. Some fabrics roll better than others, some not so well. Now, if you could see on the camera here, looking from the back, I don't know if you can see it. We've got inner fabric and a tiny little bit of the exterior fabric here. And then if you look from the front, you don't see any of the exterior fabric. Even if you kind of look at it from the top, you normally look at it from like this, but if you look this way, it's still covered a little bit. Now you have to press this in place. And this is where you have to remake it, push it around just a little bit, make sure it's where you want it. It's pretty good. I'm just going to top stitch this first edge about 1/16 of an inch like I did the other one. I'm going to put the edge stitching foot or the stitch in the ditch foot back in. I'm going to move my blade back over here. Then I'm going to do a top stitch here. That's one edge done. Now do the other one. Going to give that edge a press. Just getting the tab done a little bit. Now I'm going to top stitch this. Going to set those stitches. Going to give the entire garment a quick little press here. And you can see how when you're looking at it, you don't see any of the black fabric. Even if you're looking at it here, you really don't see any of it. Then if you look from the back, you can see that it's rolled just ever so slightly that way. Now for the elastic tab holders. Clean this up just a little bit. Clean up the other end just a little bit. Get rid of any thread tails that are here. What I'm going to do is fold it over about 3/8 of an inch to where the face fabric layer is, and fold it over again. Then I'm just going to stitch on these two edges here and leave this open so you could slide your elastic through here, or your tie back, however you want to do it. Now I'm just going to edge stitch this and this. Then you have a little bit of a tunnel to put your elastic through. And that's how I do this style of face mask. Then do the other end. There you have your finished mask. Then this is the top with the red wire in there. Then you put it on like that.